Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing all these left-wing lies. Well, I told you guys a couple days ago that I was going to start a saga, a new series aimed at counteracting the popular mainstream leftist narrative. Let's call it the unhinged leftist Robert De Niro narrative. Might as well play the clip again.
The guy is a total monster. He's such a mean, nasty, hateful person. I never play him as an actor because I can't see any good in him. Nothing at all. Nothing redeemable in him.
Donald Trump's a monster, and if he gets elected, oh, he's coming for all of us. Of course, they want to exile Donald Trump forever from the political arena. They want to turn him into a pariah, but even beyond a pariah, they want to turn him, frankly, into the boogeyman. You know, the same kind of stigma that follows the name Adolf Hitler? They want that stigma to follow Donald Trump. That's what they've attempted to create throughout these years of non-stop, unhinged, Trump-deranged propaganda. And so I feel as though it's my duty to provide a little bit of balance to the conversation, to humanize Donald Trump, to show his human side, to show that he's just a regular person who just happens to have lived a different life, different experiences. He's not the man they paint him to be, so let's continue on with that. Let's continue to show what the media doesn't want you to see, and I think today, the contrast between Joe Biden and Barack Obama's schedule and Trump's schedule, well, it really helps clarify things. It really helps some of that leftist propaganda fog dissipate. Let me show you guys exactly what I mean by that. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, so apparently Donald Trump's a horrible person, that's what they tell you. And what they always say is that Donald Trump doesn't care. He's a self-interested billionaire who's just taking advantage of working class people and ignorant people in those flyover states. He doesn't actually care about you. He only cares about himself. I find that interesting because whenever something happens, who's the first person to mobilize to show that he cares, to be there? It's always Donald Trump. When the border was in chaos, when human smuggling was hitting record highs, Donald Trump was doing something about it. Donald Trump was at the border.
Nice weather, beautiful day, but a very dangerous border. We're going to take care of it. Thank you.
Former President Trump at the Texas border Sunday.
It's a job of security for our country. It's a job of stopping an invasion.
Former President Donald Trump went to Texas on Wednesday to visit an unfinished section of border wall alongside the state's Governor Greg Abbott.
This wall would have been completed.
In fact, Donald Trump was at the border more than I've ever seen a president visit the southern border. When the residents of East Palestine, Ohio, suffered a horrible chemical spill contaminating the earth, air, and water around, Joe Biden never showed up. He showed up, maybe a month or two ago? 400 days after the actual event. Trump was there in a couple days.
Well, the mayor of East Palestine has previously said he welcomes both Trump and Biden to his community, but he's made it clear he does not want this train derailment disaster to become some sort of political circus. But it seems politics is at play a bit. Some of the people we've spoken to here say they don't think the Biden administration has done enough to help, and certain folks say they don't even want the current administration officials here because they think it's too late. Today, on the other hand, Donald Trump arrived to a crowd of people excited that he showed up to see that cleanup firsthand and talk to first responders. Now, Trump's visit to East Palestine comes just a few days after FEMA offered its aid to this community, comes after they previously declined aid and said East Palestine did not meet requirements for their assistance.
We saw the same thing in Maui. In fact, we see the same thing over and over again. Trump shows up for the people who really deserve it, while Joe Biden doesn't. The Democrats don't care, yet the popular narrative is that Donald Trump doesn't care about you. No, Donald Trump's actually always there for you. The Democrats are only there for you in spirit, in rhetoric. And so that's the baseline context. I think that's quite important. Now let's get into today's story. Supposedly Trump's the bad guy, right? Well, this just happened in New York. An on-duty officer was slain in a horrific tragedy. Another vicious young thug taking a man sworn to duty's life.
And Jones was already out on a $75,000 bond for weapons charges when he was arrested on Monday. Police say he was in the driver's seat of this Kia SUV when his passenger, Guy Rivera, shot and killed 31-year-old NYPD officer Jonathan Diller. The two suspects were illegally parked in a bus stop when Diller and his partner approached their car. They refused to roll down their windows or show their hands, and that's when police say Rivera shot Diller underneath his bulletproof vest. Now, in court this afternoon, more than 100 NYPD officers showed up to support their fallen comrade. They say they are happy Jones was remanded without bail, that he's still being held, and they're going to continue to fight for justice.
Well, there was a ceremony today to celebrate that officer's life, and guess who showed up? It's the same pattern. Donald Trump frickin' shows up. The people will say, well, he doesn't actually care. It's just politics. I don't know about that. Even when we weren't heading into an election season during the middle portions of Trump's first term, when whatever was going on in the news cycle at the time wasn't going to carry over, wasn't going to be relevant enough during the actual general election time, Trump actually showed up, even when it wasn't important for him to show up. He always shows up. That's his track record. He's the guy who gets on the plane and goes to where he feels he is needed, where his presence is needed each and every single time. The question is, where is Joe Biden? I'll tell you one thing. You know where Joe Biden should be? He should be paying respect to the family, colleagues, and friends of that fallen NYPD officer by the name of Jonathan Diller. That's where Joe Biden should be, but instead, he's boozing and schmoozing, attempting to fix his problems with black voters at a fancy pants fundraiser gala with a bunch of celebrities. And of course, Barack Obama joined him. There they are, getting off the plane. Headed where exactly? Obama, Bill Clinton to join Biden to raise $25 million at event with Queen Latifah and Lizzo. You see what I mean? Empty, nonsense, fake pandering. The Democrats act as if they're all class and they're all compassion, they care. But what they really are is fake. It's all a freaking smokescreen. We care so much, in fact, that we're not going to do anything about it. No, we're just going to continue to insult your intelligence and rely on vapid talking points and schmoozing with celebrities to gain your support. We're not actually going to do anything to help the black community, but we are going to get on stage with Lizzo. We are going to create some sort of monetary and career benefit for Lizzo to basically toe the line, and then she, as a paid partisan puppet, will advertise us to the masses. That's Democrat logic. That's Democrat strategy 101. They're the fakest freaking people on the planet. While Donald Trump is there to do the right thing and pay respects, the fancy Democrat elite are celebrating their $25 million in historic fundraising. And according to RNC research, it cost $100,000 for a photo with the three stooges, Biden, Obama, and Clinton, at their ritzy NYC fundraiser today.
All right, in just a few hours, President Biden will be diagonally across the street at Radio City for a fundraiser featuring former Presidents Barack Obama and Bill Clinton. I think it's $100,000 for a picture of all three of them.
These Democrat politicians pretend to represent the little guy, but they really don't. Like Hillary Clinton said famously back in 2015 or 2016, she has a private opinion and a public opinion. She's got the public opinion, which is meant to scam all the plebeians that they pull into their party with their ridiculous marketing tactics and false promises. And then they got the real policies, the real stances for the people they really represent, the elitist, billionaire, and multi-millionaire class behind the scenes, and the celebrity class, certainly. And this phenomenon is becoming more and more clear. I mean, let's just take a look at the left-wing media's analysis when it comes to the support that Joe Biden's getting. You know, Democrats keep touting how they're pulling in so much more money than Donald Trump. But what's important is where that money comes from.
Small donors, and these are people who give $200 or less. The Biden campaign is significantly lagging the Trump campaign in this one category. And that is very different than what happened in 2020 in the cycle, and this is the full cycle for 2020, where the Biden campaign substantially outraised Trump among small donors. So there is a shift here, and it may reflect the enormous passion of Trump's base and some of the issues Biden may be having with his small donors.
You see, all the big donations, the big donor bucks are going to Biden. Biden officially represents the multimillionaire and billionaire asset class, while Donald Trump has the grassroots support. It's as clear as day. You can see it in the fundraising numbers. But the Democrats will tell you that they represent the little guy, that they care about the little guy. They don't. They're full of it. Donald Trump isn't the monster that Robert De Niro claims he is. He's a pretty normal guy. Of course, he's got his flaws, but he's got a lot of good that the media purposely omits from the conversation. And the Democrat elite, of course, are the fakest of the fake. I just hope people are smart enough to see it. Their priorities say it all. They'd rather do a ritzy fundraiser with the NYC's politically connected elite than do anything of actual substance. Joe Biden's more focused on his issues with minority voters than being in the place that he should be to pay respects to the people who deserve it. And just think about how fake these people are. We care so much about minorities that need us. So much so, in fact, that we're not going to present any plans. No, we're going to pay Lizzo and Queen Latifah at this massive fundraising event. We're going to take our 2 token black celebrities and pull in all kinds of money from rich white billionaires because we care so much about the black people. Go ahead and tell him, Queen Latifah, please. Because last time I tried, it didn't exactly work so good.
If you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
What a bunch of fakes. They prove it yet again. On the same day, you can see the juxtaposition in terms of priorities, in terms of what these 2 candidates are doing, and I think that tells you all that you need to know. Anyways, that's pretty much what I got for you guys on this one. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.